4 black women and girls are killed every day. You actually heard me right there. I said every day. This is obviously a crisis, but oftentimes it doesn't get the attention it deserves.
Every 5.5 hours, a black woman or black girl is killed, typically by a black man. This is the story of Stacey Jones.
No screaming, no noise, no nothing, just 2 shots. She said she heard 3 measured shots. They weren't quick shots, they were measured shots. And whoever did it wanted to do it, obviously.
Absolutely horrific. There's a lot of things that happen in this city, but this is without a doubt one of the worst.
A youth football coach, seen here, a pillar of his community, those who know him say, accused in the shooting death of a pregnant woman. And now police tell us he was the father of that very baby. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey digging into the suspect's history. She joins us from the Auburn Gresham neighborhood where the suspect turned himself in.
Right, Brad, the Chicago Park District tells me Corey Deering was an employee. He coached a youth football team, and he was placed on emergency suspension pending the outcome of this investigation. He coached a generation of young football players, the Ogden Park Vikings, for 15 years. That's where he met 35-year-old Cook County probation officer Stacey Jones while coaching her older son.
We prepare for battle every day. Do I make myself clear? Yeah!
Prosecutors say Jones was 8 months pregnant with his baby when she was found on her front porch on October 13th.
Where was the location of the shots fired over here?
3 in front of the house.
She'd been shot in the back. Police said she died moments after she delivered. The baby boy died 4 days later.
But if he did not want her to carry this pregnancy through.
Today, police said there were no orders of protection nor a history of domestic violence between the pair, but that Deering, who is married, had threatened Jones in the past.
The victim had conveyed to some of her friends that the father told her she would never make it through the pregnancy.
The shooting was captured on surveillance video. Another woman who was also pregnant by Deering drove him to the scene of the shooting. Prosecutors say she didn't know his intentions.
Oh, you can see in his face that he was hurt.
Crisis responder Andrew Holmes had worked with Deering on a past charity event, and Deering called Holmes on Wednesday about turning himself in. They met at his home, and 10 minutes later, the coach who so many players revered as a mentor was taken into custody.
You know, he's human, the victim is human, and that baby was human, and it's a terrible loss.
Now, Deering had been previously questioned and released. Police said at the time they did not have enough evidence to charge him. He's now being held with no bond, and his next hearing is set for November 12th.
This tragedy, an example of a large problem. According to the 2018 Illinois Maternal Morbidity and Mortality Report, homicides accounted for 15% of all pregnancy-associated deaths for black women. UIC's Elisa Valonis studies partner violence.
These inequities that result from racism make it harder for individuals and survivors to take the steps that can be taken to be safer.
This story happened back in 2020, but the details surrounding the case made me want to highlight her story. This guy worked for the Chicago Park District and coached her son. That's how he met her. So he wasn't some dusty off the street, yet he killed her without any hesitation or remorse. Something else that was strange was the reporter said he was married, but referred to another woman as being pregnant with his child, which was not Stacey. So this man was married and was sleeping with 2 other women who he impregnated? Also, Stacey was a probation officer. She worked with men who were domestic abusers, so why not take his actions more serious? The reports made it seem like she didn't take him serious at all. She was from Tennessee, why not just go back home and be with family? I searched social media for more information on Stacey, but I couldn't find any posts from friends or family members, which is sad. However, I did find some posts from organizations that support and rally around police officers. An artist by the name of Johnny Castro drew the beautiful photo of Stacey. After doing this story and the story of Tanisha Pugsley, I have wondered, do black women take the threats of black men seriously? Do we believe that we can manage or handle whatever they throw at us? Do we fear them being locked up and jailed more than we fear dying? Because white supremacy isn't black women's biggest threat. The biggest threat to black women and black children is black men. We can no longer afford to view them as victims because they are killing us every 5.5 hours. My condolences to the Jones family, and may Stacey Jones rest in peace.